Hey guys, Rob from Georgia, aka VHS82 apostrophe here with you, and joining me not too far from the great land of Canada, Glenn, aka BDG Reviews,
Yo.
and the psychopath himself, Will Cardinal, aka Mad Harry, is presently laid up with some serious back issues, so we wish him all the well and the best. Get healed up quick. These are the hosts, along with the dawn of the one and only Graveyard Shit podcast, as well as Body Bags is in the house. Not quite fresh off our 16th Black and White Nights commentaries, rolling on into episode 17 as we look into Umberto Lenzi's slightly over the top Nightmare City from 1980. Radiation sickness is abounding. The Italian flag is being hoisted. So wipe the color off your freaking TV sets. Settle back for what ought to be one hell of an entertaining evening as we plunge headlong into some nasty, infected exploitation horror at its finest. What's up?
Not much, man. Not much. This is going to be a fun one.
I think so, man. I freaking love this movie. I don't
Yeah.
understand the freaking hate that it gets, or the even the level of cheese, man. I don't. Is some, but I just I don't know, man. This movie works, man, on some interesting
Yeah.
levels.
It's been a hell of a long time since I've seen it, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it again. Um, yeah. Just
Oh,
wish I could have, seen it on my actual DVD.
well, you got the only blame there is your cat, man.
Yeah, probably true. I think you just steal stuff.
I'd be a little worried at this point, man, because this is what 3, 4, 5 movies now that we've
Yeah.
missed.
But then again, I mean, when you have like a good sized collection, uh, stuff can start going missing. And it's not even a fact of like someone's moved it or whatever. It's like you put it somewhere thinking like, oh, I'll watch that later, and then you forget about it, and it's like, well, okay.
Well, thankfully, it's been I don't know when's the last time I came across a missing disc that would aggravate the freaking crap out of me.
I just love it when you find them again eventually, and you're like, there it is. Though of course, usually that's after you've spent money to buy a new copy.
Actually, you know what? I did have something semi to this the other day. I don't know, I was feeling a little nostalgic, throwing some music in, and for whatever reason, I was in the mood for Fleetwood Mac's Rumors.
Oh, okay.
Went, pulled out the CD, and
Ooh.
the disc wasn't in there.
Oh.
Like, what the freaking crap? So I go pull out my pile of freaking CDs, and one by one, I just start going through them, open up, looking, thinking maybe I just put in on top of another. And sure enough, I got about 12 down and found it. I can't even remember where I stuck it now, but I stuck it in another case, I guess. And
Oh yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Again, when you have a decent sized collection, that happens. You know, it's like, well, I've just listened to this or whatever, and I want to put something else on. It's like, well, I don't want to get the cover. I'll just put it back in this one. And then you forget, and everything's screwed.
so, Umberto Lenzi, man, do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
Ooh, I saw this on VHS back in the day. Um, I'm trying to remember the cover of the VHS because I remember I was seeing it in the video stores and thinking like that's kind of a cool cover. Uh, I'm just gonna check right now.
Is it the one sort of with the city in the background and the face of the zombie up top?
It might have been.
The Walking Dead.
I think so. Let me just take a look at these images and see if I can see it.
Which is kind of an awkward title considering these infected run.
Yeah, I think it was this one. The VTC. cover. It's like a screaming face, like a woman's screaming face.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was it. Because I remember seeing it, just thinking like it was, it was kind of cool looking. And it's an interesting little bit of cinema, to
Well,
say
I,
the
I
least.
did revisit this the other night with my wife, and I should learn my lesson after I don't know how many times it is a struggle at best to get through an Italian movie with my wife because every 5 seconds it's like, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Is this what we're going to do?" And I'm like, "Ah, just stop, stop. You want me to watch it or not?" Yes, I guess. Okay. Oh, it's painful. I mean, there's just certain things that you just accept.
Yeah.
And of course, of late, at least the ones that we sit down and watch, the level of cheese is, of course, probably at its maximum. And I got to keep on reminding her that most of my favorite Italian films, though, of course, are pretty free of some of the overtopness that we get here, like in this one. I mean,
Mhm.
whether it's something like Suspire, or there's plenty of Italian cinema that really just goes for the throat and
Yeah.
doesn't let go. But it's always an experience watching one of these with her. Thankfully, she fell asleep though about a quarter left to go. So,
There you go.
which we'll get there. But I freaking love. It's the one thing. It's funny. On my Arrow, I got the Arrow release of this.
Oh, nice.
It's freaking beautiful. And Eli Roth has a little thing on here. He's such a freaking fan of these movies, and that's though he's not even he's not an exception to this. He loves the whole entire movie right up until the end.
Yeah.
And we'll get there and we'll talk about it. But I don't know. I just freaking love it. I love it. It's just this. I don't know. We'll get there, but um, it's like with anything you watch. I mean, there's some ideas inherent in that movie, The Wild Beast, that are actually pretty frightening
Hmm.
and pretty funny too. Actually, I don't know. It's the last time you saw The Wild Beast.
It's been probably longer than this.
You remember?
So
Remember the cheetah scene?
I have a very vague recollection of it.
I'll never forget the first time I was watching that, and that girl's she's I don't know, she stopped her, it was a Jeep or something. She's trying to get it fixed or something, and she noticed a cheetah just sitting on the sidewalk eyeing her up. And she, of course, rightfully gets spooked, gets into her Jeep, and tears off down the road where the cheetah man is in high pursuit right behind her. And our other main principal characters who are driving from the other way on the road, as they pass by, they see her go by at a high rate of speed, but then they see the cheetah, and the guy himself just leans out. He's like, "It's a cheetah," or something. Like, but I'm telling you what, man, if a whole freaking zoo filled with freaking animals high on PCP got loose in your freaking city, I don't think anyone would be talking about a cheese factor or whatever going on.
Probably not.
Pretty lightning, man.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't know. That's just I love freaking Italian cinema, man.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's good stuff.
So you're all set to get this rolling.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure how mine will line up with yours. So on I'm just gonna start mine right now and get like right to zero.
I'll try the same here. Okay, I need to go a little bit further here. I
Yeah.
forgot. I have a whole
Okay.
paragraph about the transfer.
Yeah. I'm just on a screen. It says an Italian Spanish co-production.
All right, hold on here. Got this whole informational thing about the 2K resolution and the issues it had.
Ah.
Let's see here. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, another paragraph. It's not enough. There's actually a short documentary explaining all this stuff on the disc. I don't know why we have to see all this before the movie.
Yeah. For the people who don't watch the features, maybe I don't know.
Okay, so you're looking at the
It says an Italian Spanish co-production, Dialci Films, Rome.
yeah, we're there. So you want
Yeah.
okay, ready? Three, 2, 1, hit.
And here we go. Yeah, it's been so long since I've seen this, man. Hugo Stiglitz.
Yeah, now this is a Italian, Mexican, Spanish production. So Hugo Stiglitz, of course, being a pretty popular Mexican actor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, if you look in the trivia section on IMDb, they talk about how Franco Nero or even Fabio Testi um, were thought to be up there for the lead, but Lindsay shoots that down in a short little interview on the disc and says they were never really considered because this was an Italian slash Mexican
Mm-hmm.
um, production with this company putting up Mexican company putting up like 60% of the financing. So um,
Mm-hmm.
they pretty much had their say right from the beginning of who was going to be in this movie. But that stuff's out there, you know, and it's interesting to think of Franco Nero in here. But
That would have been kind of cool, honestly.
yeah, even Fabio Testi. I mean, after getting used to seeing him on Four of the Apocalypse, the Lucio Fulci film,
Mm-hmm.
I've become a little bit of a fan of Fabio Testi. But yeah, Hugo Stiglitz, and it's a pretty good cast in this thing, though, man. It's pretty tight.
Mm.
Is um, Now I was thinking was there a general in here that one of the main principal characters, his wife? Holy crap, man! Oh, Cipriani,
Mm-hmm.
the music score. It's pretty freaking awesome. I love the freaking score of this movie.
Yep.
Brutal Lindsay.
Yep.
Die slowly. That movie freaking traumatized me as a kid, man.
Yeah.
L'opinione pubblica si chiede ciò che effettivamente nasconda il comunicato emesso dal Ministero della Sanità concernente una fuga di gas
I
radioattivo.
love that whenever they do like a news broadcast in like a movie like this, it's always just some dude sat there.
Questo pomeriggio alla
It's
notte
never dynamic camera angles or anything. No, it's just some guy straight on. It's like it is news.
It's real. Yeah, it's pretty.
il quasi contemporaneo arrivo nella nostra città del professor Hans, uno dei principali ideatori.
So this is just the whole idea of this nuclear accident, this spill,
Yeah, I
and
like
some.
that. That there actually is a reason. So many things are like there's a reason hinted at, but this, it's like nuclear spill. At the very
It's
least,
it's pretty frightening. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, and we've seen the movies, so we know what's coming. But To think about this character, as they go out to the airport to um, meet this plane, the scientists or whatever they're going to meet. Not having, and it's weird when we see the plane making its descent.
Mm-hmm.
It really calls to mind, a couple other movies that have a similar sort of eerie opening, like Contamination, when you just see the that barge in the harbor, and it's not carrying anything good.
Oh yeah.
Or Zombie, man, with the boat in the New York harbor.
Yep. 100%.
Love it, man. I love a freaking beginning like this where, and even I think Wild Beasts is is kind of the same. I love it when you have a threat that is coming from somewhere else, but it's making its way, and when it does hit, they ain't gonna know how to respond.
Oh yeah.
And that's terrifying, man. I mean, especially when you think the world we live in today, and even this last year or so, what we've had to go through.
Oh yeah.
Just don't know, man. You never know when when something as horrific as like this could just freaking drop out of the sky on you, man.
Oh yeah. Very true. I love
Really,
that, like, it's like I'm gonna look at this with my binoculars, and it's just like how, what's the word I'm looking for? Like dramatic it is him picking up the binoculars and looking in. It's not just a matter of, I'll just grab these and have a look.
Sembra deciso ad atterrare sulla 25. Fa sgombrare la pista e dichiara subito l'emergenza.
dude, these people are not ready for this.
Oh no.
And see, that's what I'm talking about, man. It's I don't have any freaking problem at all with a movie like this and allowing it to work, in a really, really super dramatic way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is frightening, man. It is just the thought of it is frightening. Um, and it's cool with this movie how it's sort of, you get right off the beginning this sort of um, like the threat suddenly canvases a much large area, but by the middle of the movie, it sort of funnels downward,
Mm-hmm.
becomes a little bit more claustrophobic.
Yeah, very true.
This is interesting.
Pronto? Pronto, è emergenza. Ma che diavolo sta succedendo? Non ci capisco niente. Andiamo a vedere.
Good journalist, man. Let's see.
I just love its fact. It's like, let's see. It's not like, you have a camera. Let's start filming. I mean, you'd think that would be one of his first thoughts.
Before the store opens up, how's your transfer, man?
This particular one is not good because it's downloaded. But it's looking really good in black and white.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, yeah, with the inherent issues with this transfer that even Arrow couldn't make perfect, it just with the black and white meshes perfectly, man. It kind of gives it a real.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious to see sort of how the effects look.
Aprite subito, è un ordine. Avete 30 secondi per eseguirlo.
I love that. You have 30 seconds to make up your mind. It's like, what are you going to do if they don't open the door? Finally, the guy starts recording. It's a good example of just how big that plane really is. It's been 30 seconds.
You can see it. Look at Hugo's face, man. He knows something's off, man. This is something doesn't feel right about this.
Yeah.
Il professor Angerbeck.
Oh, it's so freaking awesome, man. Hell has just been unleashed.
Oh yeah.
I love it, man. We're freaking shooting, we're hacking, we're freaking. I mean,
Yep. Oh, you gotta love it.
I'm loving it. I'm loving how. I'm loving how the black and white just sort of enhances these we'll call them infected, radiation sickened
Yeah.
zombies. I think the makeup actually looks better in black and white.
I think so, definitely.
They really do look like they've just freaking come from somewhere that had a nuclear spill or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Io dico è incredibile.
It's absurd.
Yep.
Wait, that was a movie.
Yeah. Like, let's get out of here.
I didn't know. You just noticed his bald cap is moving. In that last zombie.
Well, there you go.
I don't let that bother me though. It's
No.
good stuff. Now look, the tower's already been taken. The stuff's
Yeah.
spreading fast.
Hmm.
I love how the movie just it's not afraid to take time, man. Just
You know what I'm getting, like, what's the word I'm looking for? What this looks like to me, just seeing this particular scene, this reminds me of, like, Jonestown. You know, when everyone was just dead, and
you know.
I wonder if that was, like, I don't know if this was before or after the events of Jonestown, but I mean, I don't know. I could see it being a thing.
Now I will say one of my wife's early gripes was, so you're telling me people are sitting home watching this right now?
Well, yeah.
It's very, 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 very bored.
Yeah.
There's that guy who works in the morgue in the hospital on Friday the 13th Part 4 that can't get enough of this type of stuff.
Exactly. There we go.
Kind of weird though. It is like a news place, and they got all these different things happening.
Yeah. Hey, we got like a massacre going on. What are you doing? No time to tell him.
So I love even like right here, really early on, we're gonna get a chance to see sort of the politics of what Lindsay was trying to get across. This idea of not trusting the government, not trusting what you're being told.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Hugo being wanting to inform and alert people for their own safety.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be allowed to.
Alle 11 di stamattina un avvenimento senza precedenti si è verificato nel nostro aeroporto. Un aereo di nazionalità sconosciuta è atterrato ignorando completamente le istruzioni della torre di controllo. Le forze di polizia immediatamente concentratesi sul luogo dell'atterraggio abusivo hanno circondato il
Mm-hmm.
Sì, subito. Non dubiti, direttore.
Makes you wonder how many times in real life, man, this scene is played over and over.
Yeah.
Chi ha interrotto la trasmissione? Non te la prendere con me, io non c'entro, è stato il capo a
The chief rang down.
It's like Dawn, man. Remember they wanted the listings of the shelters to continue to run, even if the shelters were no longer safe to, but they didn't want to take them down because then people would not want to watch.
Yeah.
So let people watch and then go to one of these places and die, but they're watching.
Mm-hmm.
Io sono un giornalista e il mio lavoro è dare informazioni. Signor Miller, mi stia a sentire con attenzione. È successo qualcosa di molto grave oggi all'aeroporto. Ma fino a quando non avremo portato a termine l'inchiesta e adottato le contromisure necessarie, niente deve travelare, capisci? Niente. Il Ministero della Difesa ne fa passo. Io me ne occupo dei vostri problemi.
Well said.
Può permettersi di chiudere la bocca alla stampa.
I don't give a damn about the Defense Department.
Signor Desmond, in qualità di direttore dell'emittente, la riterrò direttamente responsabile nel caso di propagazione.
Well, there you go. You just put pressure on the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Non trasmetteremo niente senza la sua autorizzazione.
He reminds me of Captain Renault's character in Casablanca.
Ah.
Politics that he plays with the Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
No, si sbaglia. Sono io che vi pianto.
Va bene, ho capito. Certo.
Scusami, cara.
Pronto?
Passi mia moglie.
Sì, sta uscendo proprio questo.
I do like how this movie, as it unfolds, you got him, you got his wife that's already headed to the hospital to work, and so there'll be this process of them reconnecting, but then you've got these other characters that are kind of going through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just written pretty good, laid out pretty. This movie does it. This movie's never freaking slow, man. It just keeps going.
That's true. I find it funny when you think, we're only 16 minutes in and we've already had like a massacre and like a political cover-up.
And then right into some of this.
Oh, yep.
It does look pretty stunning in black and white, though.
It does. I love that. Don't stop. Don't stop. It'll stop ringing. It's your day off.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a day off in the military.
Nope. I just kind of wish he'd picked up and just been like, this better be good.
Riprenderemo il discorso questa sera.
We'll finish our conversation later.
Non ti piace?
No, al contrario. Ma ogni volta che la guardo ho una strana impressione.
Come di voi? È questo che volevi dire. Su, ammetti.
Forse. È la prima volta che una delle in questo senso di angoscia. Ma ecco,
Non posso dire che tu abbia torto. Sai, quando la osservo con distacco, a freddo, voglio dire, quando non sono impegnata a modellarla, ho quasi la sensazione che non sia uscita dalle mie mani, ma da quelle di un altro maestro.
It was made by some other being outside of me. Gotta love it.
Comunque è meglio non dar peso, cioè.
It's kind of a neat use of, this sort of eerie foreshadowing that something
hai idea di quello che in fondo
Oh
really
yeah.
terrible is descending.
Hmm.
And I love how we'll come back to her and how this stuff reaches her and
Hmm. And we're back to this riveting television.
well, this little part is going to be broken up here in a minute.
Yep.
And anyone watching at home is going to get a real.
Oh yeah. I love that even the guy like producing it is bored.
dammela uno via, carrello veloce indietro. Pronti due, via.
Mhm.
Here we go.
Yeah.
I love how everything sort of goes into slow motion effect.
Yeah. That looked good in black and white. I don't understand. This wasn't on the schedule.
We're just missing somebody saying, "It's so fantastic."
Yeah, keep filming. It's so great.
It's that line. It's so fantastic. Ah. Yeah, my wife didn't like that part.
Yeah.
I had to console her, and this is the worst part of the whole movie. Trust me. Now that's pretty cool.
Hmm. Hmm.
Difesa civile. Qui è l'eminente BWC. Siamo stati attaccati. Fate presto, ci ammazzano tutti. Oh, vai.
I love that just burst into flames. Like nobody's business.
Holy crap! I was just looking up Hugo Stiglitz. You know, he's like in 266 things.
Wow.
And he's got 4 upcoming projects.
Damn.
Last movie was 2020.
I can't go wrong with that. It's good that he's got a career still.
I didn't realize he was in Tintura, the Killer Shark.
Oh, nice. Use the windshield wipers.
Salve filosofo, come va la vita oggi? Tutto male. In un mondo assurdo come questo dove la gente si preoccupa solo di parte loro. Ma no, non è vero, la gente si preoccupa anche della tua felicità.
I love that. A random guy just complaining in a hospital bed.
Ciao Jim, beh, come ti senti oggi? Abbastanza in forma, ho tanta fiducia in me. Devi stare calmo e non preoccuparti. Stasera il professor Kahn ti farà una piccola incisione e domani mattina ti sveglierai guarito. Vedrai, entro un mese potrai tornare a giocare al football. Dice davvero? Certo. Sa, questa notte ho...
I find this a little unnerving as well as he relates this nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
Sogni troppo e male.
It could have been, this idea could have been played on a little bit more, but just the idea that you got people that are just somehow they're receiving that something really bad is unfolding.
Yeah. It's a neat idea. I wish, you know. I mean, I guess, you know, you'd end up going into like a very much a supernatural side if you ran with it too much.
You know, I was just thinking about that comment that Tina mentions to Nancy in Nightmare about you know, them having nightmares, and then when that happens, you know, there's usually a really bad earthquake or something. You know, something bad is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting. They kind of played with that idea a little bit.
Yeah.
That foreshadowing. Of course, that all sort of prefigures into the end as well.
Yeah.
Now, see, this effect looks pretty freaking good in black and white.
Definitely.
È il cadavere di uno degli aggressori. È stato raccolto sulla pista delle...
Hmm.
L'autopsia esclude in maniera categorica che si tratti di una pietra. La sua struttura molecolare conferma che è un essere. Può sembrare un paradosso, data la situazione. Colonnello Fred Donald, Istituto per le ricerche sulle radiazioni atomiche. L'esame di vari campioni prelevati dal cadavere che state adesso osservando ha rilevato nei tessuti la presenza di un tasso di radioattività molto superiore alla media sopportabile da un normale organismo. Inoltre le cellule presentano deformazioni strutturali che testimoniano un processo più o meno recente di rigenerazione dei tessuti. Può esprimersi in modo più elementare. Molti dei suoi colleghi
Gotta love that. Dumb it down. We're not all bright here.
sono stati soggetti all'assorbimento di forti radiazioni atomiche che hanno potenziato le loro capacità fisiche oltre i normali. Quanto? È difficile dirlo. Resta il fatto che quelle cellule sottoposte a tutti i trattamenti da noi conosciuti sono state praticamente indistruttibili. Insomma, una specie di superuomo. Molto difficile. Che intende dire? Il potenziamento abnorme delle qualità vitali dona alle cellule di questi individui una diretta capacità genetica. Di conseguenza, le loro vittime sono oggetto di un'immediata contaminazione qualora subiscano delle semplici lesioni. Questo significa che soffriranno di... Sì, è più o meno quello che può capire. E lei afferma che non possono essere annientati dalle nostre armi. Certamente la loro materia. Scusi, colonnello, non è la stessa cosa. Non esattamente. La macchina bloccandone il funzionamento. Come? Interrompendo il processo di alimentazione. La contaminazione atomica distrugge rapidamente i globuli. Questa è la ragione per la quale dicono hanno bisogno continuamente di sangue fresco. Ma non è tutto. Per quanto riguarda un organismo umano, anche se potenziato, la fonte di ogni movimento è sempre...
In short, they are screwed.
Una lesione in
Yep,
genere
pretty much.
vuol dire che solo sparandogli nel cranio possiamo fermare il fenomeno.
Dude, I do love all of this sort of giving us a really in-depth sort of attempt to understand exactly what's going on. So many times it's just sort of left out there.
Yeah, that's true. I just love that they have plans, you know, for something like this. Like we'll follow Plan H. It's like, you know, this is just one of the things we have. Well, I guess the CDC does have a plan for a zombie apocalypse in real life, so I guess it's not unlikely. Could you imagine this movie if it was done now with modern technology?
Well, I mean, that's frustrating, isn't it? That Tom Savini actually was supposed to remake this, direct it.
Yeah.
Lindsay had his name on as producer.
Mm.
But it just, I don't know, just sort of somewhere along the process, the floor sort of dropped out, I guess, and it's sort of...
Yeah. I mean, think how cool it would have been, like, that whole beginning scene at the airport, if, like, you know, that was being shown, like, on, like, not YouTube, but, like, people were, like, live streaming it on phones and everything while it was going on, because that's what happens nowadays, right? So, you know, there'd be no locking down the information there, would there?
Well, you know, still, the Nightmare City remake still has a IMDb page.
Well, maybe it'll happen. I hope it does. I mean,
When a mysterious virus spreads from Haiti to Miami, turning people into terrifying, bloodthirsty creatures, a small group of survivors tries to escape.
it'd be cool if it still happened.
It's still Tom Savini, director. And writing credits. Ray Wise.
Oh.
In this.
Like, you know there's a problem if the lawn's mowing itself. And this is the answer. We must get drunk.
Have you seen either the Pale Door or Scare Package?
I've seen The Pale Door. That's a really good movie.
What do you think of the composition, the score?
I dug it. I thought it was pretty decent.
That guy is on the list to compose the music for Nightmare City remake.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Savani's on. He's the only one listed for special effects.
Makes you wonder whether he's just going to get people from his school to come and do it. It makes sense.
Filming locations includes Pittsburgh
Oh,
and Los Angeles. Yeah, but it just anytime you really try to look more on this outside of IMDb page, it's always like a dead end. It's like it's just going nowhere.
mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, if you could, we can kind of like write off 2020 and 2021 for it because quarantine and everything. But you would have thought there'd have been some movement. I mean, especially now. I mean, you would have thought it would have been like fast track now because I mean, it just just kind of works.
Buongiorno signore, suo padre mi manda a dirle che dovete raggiungerlo immediatamente al quartier generale della difesa civile.
Non capisco. Al quartier generale.
Now, see, it's funny, man. This was the other issue my wife had. She's like, your dad's the general. You've got this alluding to something bad is happening, and they ultimately make the choice to just take off on their little excursion.
Yeah.
It ends really bad for them.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know. They could have played it up like like this is something he's constantly doing, like he was constantly calling her in for like no reason and stuff. That would have helped. Oh, I don't like the thought of spending my weekend with a general. It's like, neither do I.
She is pretty amazing, though.
Yep.
As well as the colonel's wife there. Yeah, I'm really, really digging the makeup here. It just there seems to be more continuity across the board when watching it in color. You'll get some of the more extravagant makeup, but it just sort of contrasts with those who hardly have any makeup.
Mm-hmm.
It's in black and white is sort of bring sort of a continuous vibe. They all look to a degree they're all victims of this bill thing or whatever, but some of them have just sort of are changing for the worse a bit quick.
Yeah.
Ma che diavolo sta succedendo oggi? Siete alla 7 emergenza in solo 2 ore. Va bene, va bene. Provvediamo subito per la trasfusione. Il dottor Sanders.
Is it just me, but the thought that a slashed throat can be like cured by like a blood transfusion? That seems a bit like not quite it seems kind of what's the word I'm looking for? An understatement.
Wiki, lasciatelo passare. Dentro, Wiki, mi aspetti. Avanti.
I love that those two switches, like, knock out all the power.
Yeah. The only thing missing right now is some rampaging zoo animals.
Oh yeah.
I loved it, man. I'd love to see somebody make a movie where you took the best of Wild Beasts, Nightmare City, Dawn of the Dead, man. Just throw it all together, man.
That would be cool. That'd be really cool.
Il governo segnala l'arrivo di altri aerei pieni di contaminati, ma ci ordina di mantenere il segreto per motivi di ordine. Generale, non possiamo tacere alla gente il pericolo minore. È assurdo. Il governo non la pensa così.
Oh, that the government disagrees. It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Dopodiché, non ci resta che una soluzione. Appunto, guarda. Quella di dichiarare immediatamente lo stato di emergenza e la legge marziale.
I love how the ambulances are just like station wagons. I just think it's kind of cool. There we go, another slash throat.
Su, Sveti, in sala di rianimazione. Un anestesista! È urgente! Fuori! Presto!
Oh, that old lady we just saw.
Mm-hmm.
She reminds me of a scene from that Headless Eyes.
Oh yeah.
Towards the end, when our killer is it's just sort of meandering down the street. There's this old lady that's just sitting there on this chair on the sidewalk, and she's just like sort of got this whole I know who did it. I know who did it. And of course, it just confuses the freaking crap out of him because he's so freaking gone by this point. And he just gets confused, and he just tries to have this conversation with her, and it's just so messed up. And he just runs off, but it's just another just a creepy moment in there.
Nice.
Just really well.
Non possono lasciarci qua dentro. Fateci uscire! Aprite! Aprite, presto!
Funny thing is, that elevator would probably have been one of the safest places. At least, hypothetically.
Ooh.
Do you know where my pills are? I need them to go to the bathroom. That looks great in black and white.
It really does sort of harken back to some of the older movies of the 60s.
Yeah.
Just that.
Oh, Jim is dead.
I do love it how these two do get reconnected here.
Yeah.
And then their adventure from here forward is pretty cool to follow.
Mm-hmm.
I love how these freaking people, man, they have no idea what's going on still.
Yeah, I just love it. Make them keep quiet.
What? It's absurd. I love it.
I love that he's that good enough a shot with it. He can get it in. I mean, like,
Freaking surgeon just freaking whips the scalpel like a throwing star or something.
yeah. These are my knife throwing skills I learned in the forests of Borneo. I don't know why forests of Borneo, but you know.
He's just hit the mother load, man.
Oh yeah.
That's freaking crap makes me gag a little bit. This freaking person with an open wound, man. It's like freaking buffet.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that was the other thing. My wife's like, seriously? We don't wear bras?
Well, apparently back then, no. At least down here. I love the amount of people that just kind of, stand there for them to come, like, kill them. Like that, runs up to him, stop, get him.
Why, of all things, she runs into the water? It would have been pretty cool if if for whatever reason these zombies didn't want to go in the water.
Oh, that would have been cool. It would have been like a neat,
She would have been stuck there in the middle there, just not. But still, it'd have been interesting.
Think how cool it would have been if she was stuck in the middle, and they were all like stood around outside waiting for her to come out.
Yeah, I don't think you want those doors open.
No. It's like I said, probably the safest place in the actual entire hospital, in theory. Well, it was until you did that and let everyone know you're in there.
Coraggio, non piangere. Guardate, sta scendendo. Fermi! Indietro!
Well, I bet you wish you just kept quiet now, don't you?
This movie never stops, man. Never lets up.
No. He certainly steals a lot of cars, doesn't he? This is the second one he's stolen.
Abbassati di quota e vira a sinistra, dai! AF3 a comando base. AF3 a comando base. Qui il maggiore Warren. Stiamo sorvolando come previsto le zone periferiche. Sino adesso nessuna traccia di contaminati, solo alcune auto dirette fuori città. Notizie di sua figlia? No, purtroppo. Spero solo che sia insana. Mi dispiace, Marcelo. Veramente. Grazie. Prego.
Yeah, he doesn't look too worried.
No.
Gran parte delle linee telefoniche fuori uso. E quel che peggio, il collegamento con la sede del governo è saltato. Dobbiamo dichiarare immediatamente lo stato di emergenza. Ma si rende conto? Certo.
Didn't they just say they were going to do that earlier?
Yeah.
Quali sono i suoi ordini? Stato di allarme le basi aeree 112 e 401. Che si tengono pronte con gli elicotteri. ed eventualmente con delle squadriglie di caccia a bombardieri. Cercheremo di sbloccare la situazione prima che sia troppo tardi.
Yeah, you're not getting any control back. You're gonna.
Yeah.
See,
No good is going to come from this situation.
And that's the interesting part about trying to figure out what the resolution ought to be or not be. We'll find towards the end.
Mhm.
Obviously, had a hard time trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But these days, at least in a few scenarios of movies like this, of course, it's been drop a nuke on the place or something.
Oh, yeah.
La realtà è che ci troviamo di fronte a dei mostri. Certo, creati da altri mostri che hanno nella loro mente uno scopo ben preciso, la conquista di un potere sempre maggiore. Questa volta ci saranno giustificazioni storiche, se qualcuno di noi riuscirà a sopravvivere. Pensi che sia possibile fermarli? La contaminazione è come una macchia d'olio. Quanto si è esteso il contagio fino a questo momento.
I guess so much for, the idea that they were going to tell all of, like, the army, like, make sure you shoot for the head and stuff. It's like,
Chiusi a tempo indeterminato.
they don't seem to be listening if they did. If they told them.
Dovranno raggiungere immediatamente i più vicini centri abitati. Il governo ha disposto inoltre che in ottemperanza... Basta, Jessica, con la musica.
Kind of a weird place to just stop and vacate for a little bit.
Yep. We're going to have a vacation on the side of the road. Just for the hell of it, we like this side of the road.
È meglio che ti riporti subito a casa.
Ma tu, se siamo appena arrivati, io non ho nessuna intenzione di rovinare il nostro weekend.
Weekend on the edge of a road.
Stammi bene a sentire.
Yeah, that's the way you do it, apparently.
Cosa che non vale. Questo continua a abbaiare. E senza che si vedano cani in giro.
The continuous barking without seeing a dog around.
Non è normale.
Gotta love it.
Un posto come questo. Sempre pieno di roulotte.
Senti, sono quasi le 10. I Jones stanno per arrivare. Parliamo con loro. Loro sanno certamente cosa è successo in città.
Don't worry, the Jonesies will be here soon. That's it, man. That's the only thing missing is Bob.
Yeah.
It'd be great if that was their kid, man.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Che succede? Ma che vuoi fare con quella resa?
What are you doing with that gun? It's like, what the hell do you think I'm doing with it? I'm gonna shoot your ass.
I'll say this, man. When they first decided to leave from their home, you don't necessarily think that's going to be their end's going to come that quick.
No. Looks like she's still working on this creepy ass thing.
Sono sola, sta tranquilla. Apri la porta. Io devo di impazzire. Non ce la facevo più rimanere chiusa dentro casa da sola. Calmati, su.
I gotta love that. Like, nah, relax.
This freaking looks amazing in black and white.
It does. I mean, It's just, I don't know. Certain movies just seem to work in black and white.
Cosa sta succedendo?
I don't know why, but
Hai trovato
her husband is with the Department of something or other.
non funziona niente. È probabile che ci sia un guante. Ci vuole un
Cheer up. Gotta love that. It gets only the apocalypse. Have a drink.
una paura maledetta. Alla radio dicono di restare dentro casa e di sbarrare porte e finestre.
Lock your doors, bolt your windows.
Il condotto del carbone in cantina. Qualcuno canta un messaggio. Aspetta un momento, non mi lasciare così. Vengo giù con te.
It's a pretty creepy basement.
Yeah. And why are there why is there always just like, piled up furniture? Last time I checked, most people, don't leave furniture that way, even if they're like storing it or something. There we go. Isn't that better?
Accendi la candela.
Nothing. Light a candle and stay down here. I love that. I'll just lock you in.
Man, it's a bit creepy. It's funny how you go from the opening scene with the plane arriving and just all that crazy, crazy stuff into a real claustrophobic sort of creepy atmosphere.
Yeah.
And being built up. I mean, this is like the total opposite of what the movie opens up with.
Yeah, completely. Sheila. Oh, look. There's a convenient spike down here.
What is it about the breast area? Why do we want to stab that part?
Uh,
Oh, the eye. Oh,
ocular trauma. You gotta love it.
proud there. Oh,
Because you can always get like blood from the eye. That's the best place to get it from.
yeah. See that this has a Night of the Living Dead vibe right here, man.
Yeah.
Di che non ci hanno fermato? Abbiamo una croce rossa per in vista. Qualcosa non va. Benzina. Stiamo per rimanere a...
We're running out of gas. Of course. I love that they both look. I'd like, well, where's the gas station attendant? Do they just expect me to put in my own gas?
It's a big freaking cat, man.
It is.
C'è nessuno?
My wife noticed how big that cat was. I just it's the way they are in Italy, man. They got big cats. She's like,
Yeah.
what? And I'm like, yeah. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm like, they're all that big. They just got giant cats in Italy. If I could have a cat that big, man, it was black cat.
Mhm.
Name that big Bolchi, man.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Puoi scendere, vieni. Non c'è nessuno qua dentro.
I would have thought, the bloody axe stuck in the wall might have been like I don't know, like a hint, just maybe it's not a good idea to get out of the car.
Beh, che te ne prendi?
Little picture of Elvis in the background there.
Oh, yeah.
Solo che allora non esisteva il caffè solubile confezionato sotto ghiaccio. Altro vantaggio della civiltà moderna. L'energia nucleare.
Coca-Cola and nuclear energy.
Stiamo vivendo
I noticed that Coca-Cola sign when they went outside. Makes you wonder whether they actually paid for that or whether it was just, it was there, so they shot it.
Oh, I'm sure they just shot it.
Yeah. Italian productions are never very, big on, paying for stuff.
Però una cosa è certa, abbiamo tutti la nostra parte di colpa. Basta pensare alla vita che abbiamo condotto per tanti anni, chiusi dentro città assurde, una giungla ghiacciata, come dei robot. È triste la cosa.
Doveva succedere in te.
Speriamo che non sia
Le ultime notizie pervenute dal comando della difesa civile segnalano la presenza di gruppi di sabotatori
Groups of saboteurs are on the edge of the city.
edifici pubblici, mentre il Policlinico Nazionale la scorsa notte è stato oggetto di un vero e proprio attacco da parte di individui contaminati da radiazioni atomiche. Si parla di 37 morti e di numerosi feriti. Le autorità militari hanno disposto che tutti i reparti è meglio proseguire. Prendi il fuori.
Yeah, just drop some gas on the ground. We're good.
Yep. As she's getting the liquor,
Uh-oh.
Oh no, I'm being attacked by Mr. Potato Head.
Bene, ce n'è uno da fuori, l'ho visto!
Hello.
Oh, beautiful.
I love that. Like here, you take this axe. I'll lock the door.
Non reggerà per molto.
Yes, you do have, tools.
Cerca della sua. Qualcosa che brucia.
It shouldn't be that hard to find some cloth. There were clothes there.
Ma non credo. Zitta.
I gotta allow.
Ora.
I can't. Shut up. Do what I say.
That was pretty quick.
I no longer have a car. Get in. We'll drive away.
Did they really think for a moment they were gonna?
I think they probably did. They came out like, oh well, shit. Here you go. Have some liquor.
Vai ancora. Non devi lasciarti andare.
Don't give in. You have to get drunk.
Sono stanca da morire. Ho paura. Non ce la faccio più. Per favore, aiutami. Non ti accadrà niente finché siamo insieme, te lo prometto. Ma è necessario andare via di qui il più presto possibile. Dove? Ma non capisci che non riusciremo mai a salvarci. Quelli sono dappertutto. Loro non ci inseguono, ci aspettano. Via. Siamo come due mosche in una tira di ragno. Non ce la faremo mai, mai, mai.
Two. Only in the movies do you slap a girl and then get kissed for it.
Yep.
Vai, dico se non devo andare. Vai.
That's a pretty cool shot.
It is.
Makes you wonder if 28 weeks later was influenced by the shot.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, I could definitely see that.
AF3 a comando base. AF3 a comando base. E ho individuato un gruppo. Si stanno verso est, in direzione dell'acquedotto centrale. Temo che vogliano sabotare le condotte. Dite al generale Marchison che bisogna intervenire subito. Disponga un attacco in forze dell'aviazione. Passo. Quando base ad AF3, messaggio ricevuto. Passiamo immediatamente la vostra richiesta al generale Marchison. Chiudo. Arif, mi stia bene a sentire. Non mi interessa affatto cosa dici. Io capisco perfettamente che rischiamo grosso, d'accordo? Ma purtroppo non ci sono altre soluzioni. Esegua subito i miei ordini. Se necessario, vada a Chambers lei stesso. Ce la faremo. Troveremo una via d'uscita.
We'll find some solution in the end. Interesting line.
Yeah.
Of the end, that is an interesting line.
Very true.
Oh, I forgot about this little church scene. Oh boy.
Allora? Andiamo. Non c'è nessuno. Ti ho detto che non c'è nessuno.
Ti ricordi dove c'è? Dicono che devo prevenire. Nella casa del Signore. Vieni, sono sicuro che non corriamo nessun rischio.
Always thought that was an interesting design for a church.
Yeah, for sure.
Abbiamo tanto bisogno di qualcuno che ci aiuti.
Oh, I will attack you with a candle. Yeah, think of all the possible things you could grab as a weapon. A candle probably wasn't the smartest idea.
Vuole spiegarmi che cosa succede in questo maledetto aeroporto? Dove sono gli altri ufficiali? Perché non avete risposto ai miei appelli radio? Abbiamo localizzato altri contaminati a nord oltre la tangenziale. Che cosa aspetta a intervenire? Risponda. O vuole che la definisca la corte marziale? Non si muova, maggiore, sparo. Io non mi lascio ingannare. Anche lei è contaminato come tutti gli altri. Avete portato la peste e la morte. La mia squadriglia. Però non riuscirete a fregare me. Non ci riuscirete! Abbassi quella pistola. Hai impazzito? Io non voglio finire come i miei compagni. Io voglio vivere. Voglio vivere!
I love how everyone has like a mustache, like worthy of like I don't know, like an ancient like Western or something. You know, these giant mustaches.
And I'm sure it's a carryover from the old spaghetti westerns.
I'm sure. Probably like, don't shave your mustache. You know, you got 5 more movies coming up soon.
Maggiore Warren. L'aeroporto di Baden è stato sabotato. Non c'è possibilità di far intervenire i caccia. Chiedo ulteriori istruzioni. Un momento, Maggiore. Direttamente al generale Maggi. Guarda. Mi ascolti bene. I comandi operativi sono interrotti. Ha capito? La variante B è saltata. Rientri subito alla base. È un ordine. La sua missione ormai non ha più senso. Ricevuto, generale. Eseguirò. Passo e chiudo. Ah, donna. Il esperimento è fallito. È così, vero? Contrario, il gas si è rivelato molto efficace. Basterà che i nostri non mettano le loro lanciamissili. Il generale deve essere avvertito immediatamente. No, non esiste più aviazione. Non esiste più niente. Niente. Ma non era partito per la base di cielo. Non è mai avvenuto. Non ricordo capire niente. Aspetta qui, prendiamo a bordo una persona. Dove sei?
Oh yeah.
Perché hai lasciato la porta aperta? Ti avevo detto. Ci scattati, ho dovuto ucciderlo.
Look,
Ooh, that Ferris wheel there. 28 days later, probably got their idea from that.
oh yeah. Well, hell, Zombieland as well.
Yeah, yeah. You know that was filmed just down the road from where I live.
That's cool.
Proviamoci. Forse il motore funziona. Vedo io. Quando il mio segno raggiungi più in fretta di noi. Sì. Corri, aspetta! Corri!
love that. Just throws the gun at him.
Cerchiamo di tirarli a bordo. Su, ammassati. Scusi, maggiore, vale la pena di rischiare? Forse sono già contaminati. Ma come ti dico?
Just do what I tell you. I gotta love that.
That'd have been scary for them to have to actually climb that thing up.
Yeah, I'm sure. This guy really has something about throwing guns at people.
Oh boy.
She just told you don't look down, you stupid cow. And that's that.
How absurd.
Tra un'ora devo essere all'aeroporto per l'intervista con quello scienziato nucleare, professor Hunter. È un personaggio molto importante. Dirige la centrale. Professor Hunter. Ma cazzo, stai a sentire?
It's going to be glorious. He's going to step out of a plane with a hatchet.
Non è ancora arrivato. Controlla gli altri settori di parcheggio.
25, I think it was. Feel like I've been here before.
Ehi Willy, vieni, c'è una traccia non identificata. Torre di controllo, qualificarsi. Può darsi che abbiano la radiometria. Scende di quota e sembra decisa ad atterrare sulla 25. Sgombra la pista e dichiara subito l'emergenza. Ma che diavolo sta succedendo? Non ci capisco niente. Andiamo a vedere. Ripeto, in nome della legge, aprite I portelli.
You have 30 seconds. And there's no warning this time.
Mm-hmm.
The night is reality.
Nice.
So it's just a continuous loop.
Yep.
I don't mind an end like this. This doesn't bother me. I don't bother, but I mean, unless you got it already wrapped up or think there's some chance of moving the story forward, how else? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like people all get up in arms about the ending of City of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit more frightening just to kind of think that somehow, some way, they've all been caught in this, or he has.
Yeah.
Like Groundhog Day effect or something.
Yeah. It's a creepy thought.
So overall thoughts?
It's a damn good movie. It really is. It doesn't deserve like I want to say the hate it gets, but it definitely works better in black and white. I think, I don't know, the effects just seemed better in black and white. So yeah. Ah.
Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how many movies play with the whole nuclear reactor leak theme.
Yeah.
Um, hell. When you think of Hell of the Living Dead, I mean, those are actually more in line with being zombies as a result of that leak.
Yeah.
Where we just kind of run with the this idea of infected.
Yep. Very true. Good flick though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, preferred way to view it, or
I think so. I mean, I just think it just works very well in black and white. And like I was saying, the effects are they just seem better.
yeah, I was just thinking, with movies like this, deciding, if you got a friend over, or you're going to introduce someone to an Italian movie of sorts. Nightmare City might not be the first thing you show up, but like you just said, though, in black and white, it works a whole lot different.
Yeah, definitely.
It doesn't, I think the continuity of the makeup,
Yeah,
it's not so, seemingly all over the map when you watch it in color.
that's true.
Some of it works good, some of it's but in black and white, it's all sort of,
The same.
yeah. And it's interesting how this movie starts out like on such a grand scale, but then by the midpoint or heading towards the end, we have, like we said, those really claustrophobic moments, creepy moments.
Yeah, and honestly, those worked really well. I mean, I don't know. It's just cool. Yeah, they honestly, I wish there was more of the like the creepy stuff, the claustrophobic part and everything. It worked really well.
So this was, what did we say? This was 80.
I think so. Let me take a look. Nightmare City, yep, 1980.
It's funny, Hell of the Living Dead will come out too in 1980 as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess it was just that time.
Yeah, I mean, City of the Living Dead, 1980.
Yep.
Of course, that's of the three, that is easily the superior one, but
Oh, of course. But
it's
yeah.
it's funny how you get somebody like and Lindsay. I mean, he does pretty well with what he's given. Matai, a little lesser so. Fulci just knew how to maximize.
Yeah. Yeah, he really did.
He was fortunate because of the people he had around him too, man. He had, at least for that run, he had just an incredible group of guys around him. I mean, whether it was Sacchetti writing or De Rossi's effects or
Yeah.
Tommasi's editing. I mean, Frizzy's score. I mean, he had like an all-star freaking cast of people to and some of these other guys really didn't have that quite the same. I mean, they all have moments. Um, um, like what's his name with Anthropophagus?
Uh, Joe D'Amato?
Model, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, model. I mean, you think of his filmography, and I mean, he only did a couple actual horror movies.
Yeah. But they
Um,
were damn good.
well, Anthropophagus, man, is freaking. Oh god, that might be my favorite of his. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, they all had their moments, but a few, of course, just kind of seemingly. Well, Argento had a lot of help with having the financial means to do
Yeah.
what he wanted to do. But I think in some cases, man, Fulci even one upped Argento, with just having less to work with.
Yeah. I definitely think that's the case. I mean, I don't know how to put it. It's like Argento made quality by paying for it. Fulci made quality by making quality.
Yeah. Lindsay had his run, boy. He had some good ones. Matai was probably the lesser of those.
Yeah.
In fact, I have and I still haven't watched him yet. Have you watched his Matai's two of his much later ones of recent, the Zombies, the Beginning, and
No, I mean I've heard very bad stuff about them, but
yeah, me the same. I just haven't brought myself to
yeah,
put,
you
put
you you still kind of want to check them out though and be like, are they really as bad as everyone's saying?
I don't know. I really do. I need to. I mean, I was at this place up in Tennessee, and they were both. I mean, they were both on my mind. I think because Derek,
Mm-hmm.
mentioned them or something, and so I mean I had them on my mind, but I'd never found them. I'd never seen them out in the wild, and I was in that place up in Tennessee. I can't remember what it was called now, but it was funny. It wasn't the place where I was at wasn't really too far from where uh, Dubby Dubs lives,
Oh, nice.
and yeah, and but anyways, I was just kind of going through the shelves and everything, and then all of a sudden I just like stopped and like there they both were right together. Dang, and plucked them both off, and but that was a couple years ago. I still haven't watched them. I really need to, just so I can see just how bad they really.
Yeah, and I mean,
Something unique
like,
about the 80s.
yeah. And then again, like when they say movies are bad, like, are they really bad? I mean, there are very few movies that I genuinely hate. You know,
I agree. I mean,
I can usually find something I enjoy about a movie, except for Black Christmas, the remake.
yeah, I mean, I've always, sort of had that mindset with reviewing stuff on body bags. I rarely ever watch something and think to myself, "Oh man, this is going to be freaking crap."
Yeah,
I don't know. I
very
always,
true.
I always find good stuff to.
Well, that's the thing, you can't just rag on the bad stuff. You have to say what went right as well. If you don't, you're you're being kind of like unfair to the movie, really.
Well, you are in a way because you're sort of you're sort of not um, giving the director the benefit of the doubt of the challenges and the things that they had to deal with.
Hmm.
Some of these visions are pretty grand. I mean, you just think of something like the wild beast. I mean, when you really think about it, it's a pretty grand vision.
Oh yeah.
May not all settle on film as nicely as they had hoped it
Hmm.
would at the beginning, but I mean, it's it is still amazing of what they were able to pull off.
Hmm.
Even the lesser versions of our most you know favorite directors, be it Fulci or Gento or whatever. I love Nightmare City, man. I just think this is
It's
just a,
just fun.
it's a fun ride, man. It is absolutely fun and a little unnerving at moments when you
Yeah.
really think about it and what Lindsay was trying to say about nuclear energy and the politics of it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, have those things, man. We have those things. I mean, we'll never know. What's that when that over in Japan when that tsunami
Oh yeah. Yeah.
reactor.
Yeah. Fukushima.
Yeah, I mean, scary stuff.
Yeah. It really is.
All right, anything else?
No, man, that's pretty much it. Good flick. Definitely watch it in black and white if you want to see it again. Yep.
All right, well, this I guess concludes another black and white night commentary.
Oh yeah. We will be back again with Hell of the Living Dead, which should be interesting to say the least.
Uh, Very pleased about that.
Yeah. So yeah. We'll see you next time.
See ya.